mindfulness walks in nature combined with earth meditations. So what exactly does that mean, and how can you benefit from this? So at the moment I'm just really at the outskirts of my lovely town Middelburg, and as I'm at the beginning of starting to organize my meditation walks in nature for international visitors, students, professionals, tourists, and anyone who speaks different languages apart from Dutch, then you're more than welcome. But even if you are Dutch, you're also more than welcome. But first I want to explain a little bit of what exactly it is that I like to bring to the world, or bring to the table. As I've been exploring this path for quite a few years, which really started first of all in the Netherlands, here with a coaching program, 1.5 years of spirit coaching, and then I went off to England, and in England this whole interest into meditation, mindfulness, connecting to nature, to the natural world, it really started to open up different states of, let's say, awareness, that there is more than the physical eye can see and perceive, is that we have another eye, a so-called third eye, and the third eye is of course located here in the third eye chakra, but more about that a little bit later. So first of all, why a meditation walk and not just sitting still? You see, for a lot of people, including myself, I'm not only highly sensitive, which means is that I have a highly sensitive nervous system, meaning is that I pick up to different energies, emotions from my environment and such, and therefore I simply need more time to recharge my battery, because I will simply feel more drained. And that's why I need to actually spend more time in nature to tune in the source, to re-energize myself. Another thing is, besides its hypersensitivity, I'm also really like hyperactive in the mind. Some like to call it ADD, ADHD. And to get this hyperactivity a little bit at ease, the best thing for me is to get out there and start walking. Because with walking, of course, it's a very meditative practice. So for some, if you go indoors in the basement of a building and sit on a cushion, you can't really come at ease within yourself because you're hyperactive. So at the moment you start sitting still, you're like, you know, I want to move around, so I'm hyperactive. Right. So for that reason, a meditation walk can be of a greater benefits, because once we get the hyperactivity out of the body, then we go a little bit further and you can experience a deeper sense of peace. But also walking itself is already very meditative, because meditation is not really something you do, it's actually something of who you already are, and it's just simply reminding yourself of who you actually already truly are. So in mindfulness meditation, it's really about bringing your awareness to here, to the present moments, to what is. So I'm here just at the outskirts of the beautiful town Middelburg, and of course I can really start paying attention to what is. You know, we have so much clutter going on in the mind, we are busy, we are distracted, we have to think about our business, our career, our studies, whatever it is that's currently going on. And it's more about, first of all, allowing yourself to relax, because once you can relax, you can reflect. And once you can reflect, you can grow. It's really about allowing yourself some time to reflect, because then you can actually take a step back. Because once you can take a step back, you can step up in self-awareness and consciousness and look at your whole daily life from a helicopter view. That's really not so much the goal, but it's like what comes with it, because you step outside of yourself for a moment, and let's call it your lower self, your egocentric identity that is obsessed with whatever it is that preoccupies you in order of what you think you have to become and what not. And sometimes you get so distracted that we can lose something of ourselves. dedicating yourself to this very beautiful practice. It's bringing something of yourself back into, let's say, in alignment, because of course we are human beings and not just human doings, and sometimes we have to bring alignment between be, do and have. So mindfulness is really about paying very close attention to what is. Pay attention to what do you hear, what can you see, what can you smell. It's really about using your 5 basic senses of perceiving your environment. It's really connecting with your environment, because once you're so busy with everything, you don't really pay attention to what is. But once you start to pay attention to what is, your breath, your body, perhaps pay attention to all these little thoughts, these little clouds circling around you. Pay attention and see them for what it is, so you can really step above it. This is a very beautiful way to really re-energize, recharge, rejuvenate and relax, reflect and grow. But there is a deeper aspect to everything, and you might be ready for it, you might not be ready for it. And I like to incorporate this a little bit with what is a little bit more, let's say, acceptable, or what's a little bit more familiar. But it's something that actually already exists within us. It is just like it's something we have forgotten. We have forgotten throughout the centuries, because this is something that has been here basically at the dawn of mankind, and it has been practiced by many tribal civilizations throughout the world, but has basically been forgotten by the modern way of living, by progress and modern religion, perhaps capitalism as well, and science that really gave us the idea is that we are kind of like matter and that's about it. Everything beyond that, well, you can go into quantum physics and you see that everything is kind of like still connected. The core center of an atom, if you really dive at the deepest elements of a quark, you also see it's kind of like empty as well, yet it's also connected. So what I'm referring to is, it's the aspect of animism. And animism is an ancient tradition, an ancient belief that has been incorporated throughout different shamanic traditions. And it really is about like, yeah, okay, we have a physical body, we have a mental, we have an emotional body, and through the emotional body, we can reach the energy body, the light body or spiritual body. And as a Reiki practitioner and master myself, I work with the energy centers that are located within our system, the 7 chakras. If this is something new for you, I've got a different video, explains everything about it. There must be a link down below. And by balancing all these different energy centers, you can affect different aspects of your life, because all these energy centers affect the different elements of your daily life as well. But also throughout different traditions, healing traditions in the Far East, let's take acupuncture for example. They also speak about the so-called meridians that are located throughout the body. And if something is off energetically, we have to work with the meridians, which is part of our energy system as well. So we got Reiki, which is Japanese, we got acupuncture, which is Chinese, and also what is coming from Japan is the so-called science of force bathing or ecotherapy or Shinryu-ku, which has been further developed and researched throughout the 80s, which is really also kind of like a mindfulness practice where we use our 5 basic senses of perceiving the natural environment. But yet I also strongly see it's kind of like rooted in animism as well, because although it's more like a modern way of looking at it, animism has been here for thousands of years, maybe 10, 15,000 of years. And that is once again is that everything is connected within our physical body, the spiritual body, and we are connected to the natural world as well. And through a deeper state of meditation, we can start to pick up and see and feel and experience on how connected we actually can become if we open up our senses to it. So as I just spoke about, we have these 7 energy centers within the body. Once again, I explained it in the video about Reiki, where I go a little bit further deeper about these 7 energy centers. We have the meridians within the body. Of course, we have the energy centers below our feet, which can really ground us to the earth. But so has planet Earth. So has planet Earth has these different energy centers located throughout the planets. Now, very important one, because I've been living in England for over 10 years, and that's really when I started to open up to these different elements. We have a heart chakra, which is all about unconditional love for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, empathy for ourselves, for others, the planet, the earth, and so on. But so has planet Earth has this energy center, which is located in the centre of England, in Glastonbury. Now, you might be familiar with these so-called energy centers, like Stonehenge, for example, and we have many different sacred sites around the earth, around the planets. Stonehenge is basically located on a so-called meridian, which they call ley lines, which is directly connected with the heart chakra of the planets. So we got the ley line, and if you take this ley line further, it is actually coming in straight into Middelburg. Actually, it's coming in through Domburg, here into Walcheren, into Middelburg as well. So we actually have a direct connection with the heart chakra of the planets right here at our doorstep. You may not know that, but once you start to open up to this through deep states of meditations and transmissions, you see how we actually can connect to the energy centers of the earth, and that's really what I mean with earth meditations. So if you'd like to experience, for example, like how I create these meditations, I've got a different YouTube channel as well that really focus more on these meditations, and I recently recorded one which is all about connecting to this energy center. So this is really something that I will continue to bring forward as well throughout my meditation walk, we socialize, we network, we connect with like minds, we take a moment to stand still and really become very mindful of what we can sense using our 5 basic senses, which can also help us to open up the 6th sense, which can take us further into these earth meditations. So if this something has your interest, then of course you can check out our schedule to see what kind of walks I will be organizing shortly, and you can join our community on Instagram, Facebook, the Facebook group, the WhatsApp group, where I will be publishing my latest videos like this, guided meditations, and of course my events as well. So I really hope that I can meet you very, very soon, and let's share our experiences in opening up to that what has been forgotten. The only thing we got to do is to remember. All right. Welcome at the place that we are creating to remember. All right. See you soon. Take care for now.